This week I'm driving the new Volvo XC40 Recharge twin motor, which features a cute curbside presence, some really nice premium features, as well as impressive motor specs. But the small electric SUV segment is getting quite competitive, with rivals like the BMW iX1, Lexus UX, and the Mercedes EQA. In this video, I'm going to show you how the XC40 Recharge stacks up, so stay watching. There are two powertrain options for the XC40 family, a mild hybrid or a pure electric. The latter has two variants, and we're in the top spec variant, the Recharge twin motor, which is priced from $85,990 before on-road costs. That positions it right in the middle of its nearest rivals, but in terms of the XC40 family, it is a price hike of $23,000 from its fuel-based equivalent. There are some great premium features in this model, like a panoramic sunroof, heated and electric front seats, heated rear outboard seats, plus a heated steering wheel. You also get a premium Harman Kardon sound system with 13 speakers in this grade. The full specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. The XC40 Recharge has a slightly different design to its fuel-based counterparts, and you see this mostly in the front, where you get this body-coloured panel instead of a standard grille, as well as chunky design on the 20-inch alloys. But I do like that it still boasts the Hammer of Thor headlights. The interior is where the electric powertrain kind of loses me, because the fuel-based equivalent is so much nicer inside. I like that it's made a conscious effort to use recycled materials as well as non-leather options throughout for upholstery. It's great on paper and a really nice thought, but for me personally, you're left with weird feeling synthetic seats that just don't reflect the price level or grade level of this car. Other than the cool topography inserts that you get on the dash and the front doors, and this 9-inch vertical multimedia screen, it's kind of basic inside, which is a real shame because the outside is cute as hell. Front passengers definitely benefit from the most space. It's a really easy car to get in and out of, which I like, and there's heaps of individual storage options for this class. The synthetic trim seats look quite neat and tidy, but they are very hard, and I did find them to be uncomfortable for a longer journey. I liked though that you've got powered lumbar support on both seats, as well as extendable under thigh supports. The 12-inch digital instrument cluster looks great and is semi-customizable. I do like that you can pull through the satellite navigation and directions on it. The charging options are quite good up front with a 12-volt port, two USB-C ports, as well as a wireless charging pad to choose from. The touchscreen multimedia system is pretty simple to use, which is great, and has built-in Google Assistant and Maps. I am surprised though that for the 2024 model year, we still don't have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Still, it's very easy to connect to the Apple CarPlay. Despite having a panoramic sunroof, I have plenty of headroom for my 168cm height. The legroom is also not too bad considering that this is a small SUV. The width of the seat does make it feel more inclined towards a 2-seater rather than a 3-seater, and the seats themselves are pretty hard, but other than that, I have a good amount of space back here. The amenities are pretty good back here with directional air vents, reading lights, two USB-C ports, as well as heat functions for the outboard seats. And I like too that you get a fold down armrest with two cup holders. You get ISOFIX child seat mounts on the outboard seats plus 3 top tethers for any parents out there, but 2 seats are definitely going to fit best. Because this is a dual motor, you do miss out on a little bit of boot capacity. This has 419 litres, which is down from 452 litres for the single motor powertrain. I like that you get a level load space, as well as the fact that you can switch up the floor to create a big deep well for groceries, or pop it back down. I don't like the look or feel of the cargo cover though, because it just feels a little bit cheap for this price level. I love though that you get a handy powered tailgate in this. If you need some extra space, you do get front storage in this car, which adds 31 litres, which is perfectly sized if you need to store away any cables. The XC40 Recharge twin motors has, as you may have guessed, 2 motors, and that produces a combined power output of 300 kilowatts and 670 newton meters of torque. It's downright fun, and you can do a 0 to 100 kilometer sprint time in just 4.8 seconds. Like the Polestar 2, there's no ignition button for this. To turn it on, you jump in, put it into drive, and off you go. To turn it off, you put it into park and you just simply get out and lock the car. It does take a little while to get used to, but I do think it's a pretty cool feature. With the twin motors, you do produce a really decent amount of power in this, and you never feel like you're sort of scraping the barrel in terms of power, which is great. The twin motors delivers fantastic power in this, and you feel that mostly in the city where it feels quite zippy, but even on the open road you get great confidence when you have to overtake or keep up to speed. And I love how the power is distributed through the all-wheel drive system because it feels very well balanced. You're not rearing to go, there's no movement in the car when you accelerate. I customized my steering wheel feel to firm, and I really like this setting because it made it feel very responsive and direct when I was tackling the tight city streets or a car park. I don't like though how wide the A and the B pillar is, particularly the B pillar, because it does hinder checking your blind spot. That plus the narrow window, you really do lean on your blind spot monitoring system in this. This loses a few points for me in terms of ride comfort. One, like I've already mentioned, the seats are really hard and that makes a longer journey feel even longer. 2, the suspension is quite firm, which makes it feel like you're getting every single bump in the road. You don't ever miss a bump. And 3, the road noise. It's so loud in here. Like it's almost deafening when you hit higher speeds, which it's a real shame. Doesn't feel very refined because of it. You can't customize the regen braking in this, and to be honest, I didn't even really notice it had regen braking until you switch over to the one pedal function. I personally didn't like this when it was activated because it just made it really jerky, and especially when you want it in that stop-start traffic, it was quite unpleasant to use. My initial thoughts when I first got in this car was that it is well suited to an urban environment. I live regionally, and unfortunately this just doesn't have that comfort that I would want for a long journey. Now, the thing that this does really well is the parking. It is quite small in length at 4,440 millimeters, but the 11-meter turning circle is what makes this just downright easy to park. I like that it has a 360-degree view camera system too. It's not as clear as some others that I've sampled, but it's fantastic to have nonetheless. And you also get front and rear parking sensors in this. The official energy consumption is 19 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers, and I averaged 19.2 kilowatt hour after a fair mix of open road and urban driving this week. The official driving range is up to 485 kilometers, but I only ever saw a top range of 410 kilometers, and I must admit I did have a little bit of range anxiety for longer trips. This has a Type 2 CCS charging port, which means that you can benefit from faster charging times. On an AC 11 kilowatt system, you can get from 0 to 100% in as little as 8 hours. But if you were to plug it into a standard 3-pin house plug port, expect that wait time to go up significantly. On a DC charging though, the wait times come down to just 33 minutes to get from 10 to 80%. The XC40 comes with a robust safety features list, but a standout is the Volvo designed side impact protection system, or SIPS, which reinforces the steel framework of the car and disperses energy to other parts of the car in a side collision. The XC40 has a maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating from testing done in 2018 and has 7 airbags. A pretty cool thing that it features though is very high individual assessment scores for adult and child occupant protection at 97 and 84% respectively. And for any parents out there, you can actually program the spare key to limit the volume control for the audio system as well as the speed limit. And it's also handily color coded so your kid can't take the wrong key. If you're after more safety specs, check out my written review at carsguide.com.au. The ongoing costs for the XC40 are pretty good, with it coming with a usual 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, and the battery is covered by an 8-year term. You can pre-purchase a 5-year or up to 150,000 kilometre servicing program for a flat $3,000 or an average of $600 per service, which is a little bit expensive for the class. Servicing intervals are good every 2 years or 30,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. And you also get complimentary roadside assistance for 5 years through Assist Australia. And if you meet certain criteria, you can actually up that for another 3 years, which is very handy. The Volvo XC40 Recharge twin motor is a cute, small electric SUV that has a good features list and a nice urban driving experience. It's not great on a longer journey, but it does have a decent range to be able to tackle one if needed. I don't personally love the interior design, but the XC40 Recharge does get a lot right, so it gets a 7.5 out of 10 from me. If you're after more details, check out the full review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.